The defending Super Bowl champion, the Los Angeles Rams.
They're playing like the Lambs.
Yes, they are. Yes. Sorry, me and my dad, we used to come up with nicknames all the time. So I always want to say the Lambs. But again, my in-laws are big Rams fans, so I don't say that as much. But they lose again this past week, and now they have to face the Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
And Cooper Kupp is injured. He's on the IR. We're not entirely sure if Cooper Kupp is even going to come back this season. So, Cody, should the Rams just end this season, start trying to get some draft picks accumulated, or do you think bring back Cooper Kupp when he comes back, we're going to go full force?
So I think this is an interesting question because I don't know who the Rams have to trade to get draft picks. And specifically, I'm talking like early draft picks, like rounds 1 through 3. I don't think they have really any of those draft picks any longer. I think they have majority late round picks. But, you know, I think if I'm the Rams, I'm closing up for the season. I think obviously Cooper Kupp is out for a minimum 4 games, potentially longer, just because, you know, they report he had surgery on his ankle, and, you know, the way that the season's going, why rush him back? I mean, you want to get him healthy. And then obviously too, there's a huge question mark with Matthew Stafford too on his health. I know that he's been dealing with, you know, a concussion last week. He's had the elbow issue majority of the season, a bunch of other injuries that he's been struggling with as well. So, in my opinion, I think this is the season where, unfortunately, I think, you know, Sean McVay needs to take it on the chin, let this one ride out, and just play your second stringers, let them get some experience. You know, if you have any young players, let them develop. But I don't think that this season is salvageable. I think their division is way too competitive to begin with. And I think like a team like the Vikings are a better team than them. I think, you know, the Giants would defeat a team like the Rams just because the Giants seem to be a well more balanced team, and the Rams just struggle on offense, whether that's, you know, the run game, offensive line, Matthew Stafford sometimes not being able to get all of his weapons involved in the offense. I just think that this is a year where you need to just sail it and then worry about next season, because I think the fear would be too is you're going to do everything you can to get into the playoffs for what, to get a loss in the wild card spot, and then you're out of the playoffs now. So I think the Rams should pack it up this season. My only thing though is, again, I don't know who they're going to trade for. It's not like they have a first round pick to, you know, to draft this season. I think it's somebody else owns it, which means that if they don't do so hot, then that team gets a higher draft pick. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it's the Lions that have it. So that would even be funny too, if the Lions get a high draft pick, but yet they have a better record than the Rams. I think that would be a little funny in my opinion, but I think the Rams should call it a season.
I'm with you. I think they should. You know, Colin Cowherd I bring up because I watch him every day. But he was kind of bringing up the point of, you know, they need to trade for a first-round pick. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's a really good point. But as I was thinking about it, I was like, who are you going to trade to get a first-round pick? Like, I mean, you're going to have to trade Cooper Kupp, which you're not going to do. Aaron Donald, which, again, you're not going to do. Matthew Stafford, you're not going to do. And I don't know if you can get a first-round pick for Stafford right now because of the way he's been playing, and he's been hurt. So, you know, I mean, I know I'm probably missing a ton of guys. I mean, he said Jalen Ramsey. I could see you do that, but I don't know if they do that. I don't know if they want to be perfectly honest. So they might have to ride the ship for a while. Now, listen, I don't think they're in bad shape. I think they're in bad shape this year. They obviously are not playing well, but they need to get offensive line. And I don't think you necessarily need to get offensive line in the first round. If you want to get a generational talent offensive line, maybe top 10, you're going to go after a guy. But if there's not a guy like that, and as far as I know, I don't believe there's really that type of offensive lineman in this draft. So I think you can build on offensive line, deep in the draft. So I think they'll be okay. But I do think this year, with Cooper Kupp being out, I think that offense is completely different. I mean, it's been bad enough, and then you talk about missing Cooper Kupp, who's been their number one guy. I think they just need to pack it in and just try and get healthy. I think honestly, I saw that Matthew Stafford is active for this week. I think you should just make him inactive, to be honest, and I know they're not going to because teams don't want to admit it, and I get it. But I think Stafford and Cooper Kupp, you need to get healthy, get rid of Cam Akers. Obviously, you guys don't want him, so just get rid of him. Get maybe an additional pick for him. That's all you need, and then go from there. So